A super chore, a business tycoon and two Bollywood stars. This is the story of India's most stunning money heist. Conman Sukesh Chandrashekhar ran a well-oiled extortion racket from inside Tihar jail. He impersonated the Home Secretary, the Law Secretary and boasted about contacts with the Home Minister and managed to extort, hold your breath, 215 crore rupees from one of India's top business tycoons' wives. Now, India Today has exclusively accessed Conman Sukesh Chandrasekhar's audio files, 84 explosive tapes which reveal a tale that crime thrillers are made of. Our crime and investigation correspondent Munish Pandey with our lead story tonight.
A billionaire, an alleged conman behind bars, and phone calls that led to extortion of 200 crore rupees. India Today gets a blow-by-blow account of how a jailed conman extorted 200 crores from a business tycoon's wife. The story started when former Ranbaxy owner Shivendra Singh landed in jail in a case of alleged fraud and money laundering in October 2019. Shivendra Singh's wife, Aditi Singh, was working on getting bail for her husband when she was allegedly approached by conman Sukesh Chandrashekhar on the phone. Chandrasekhar posed as a government official when he established contact with Aditi Singh. He allegedly used voice modulation to change the tone of his voice. The shocking detail, he was allegedly doing all this from prison. India Today has exclusively accessed the audio recordings of Chandrasekhar's conversation with Aditi Singh.
You tell him not to be worried. Tell him to let us do our job. We know what we are doing. Tell him to be relaxed. Tell him to now look forward to come out.
Sir is saying to them that it is inappropriate to have a meeting in the current scenario with everything that's going all around. And he's saying that don't worry about all of these things. Now we just have to look forward to you coming out and working together.
All the while, Aditi Singh had no idea she was being scammed by Chandrasekhar. Aditi Singh became aware of the con months later after the Enforcement Directorate alerted her. The ED had begun taping Chandrasekhar's phone last year, which led to his arrest in the new case of alleged fraud.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Tell him that his bails are now going to be disposed at once in Supreme Court. He needs money about anything. He cannot be any more going or appealing anywhere. Tell him that. And also tell him that even in the Suresh Kumar case court, he was about to get bail. But because Mr. Aditi said that you managed Mr. Case, that is the reason we had to dismiss. Please tell him that.
Sir is saying that now your bails will happen now that they're all in the Supreme Court. Sir is saying that please don't worry about the family or me or yourself. We are the government's responsibility, and that we are looking forward to starting a new beginning with us. So please don't worry.
The probe agency has submitted 84 such recordings to a Delhi court. In another tape, Sukesh impersonated Home Secretary of India Ajay Bhalla.
Yes, good afternoon. Ajay Kumar Bhalla this side, Home Secretary of India. Is this a good time I can talk to you?
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, sir, of course. It's a privilege to talk to you, sir. Sir, may I make a small request? I'm sorry, I've been requesting for a meeting, and I would really like to come and meet if that is at all possible at any point of time. I would be most grateful for that.
I would like to mention to you that I'm sure you have been told even before that there is certain right time for things to be done. So Mr. Anup will definitely tell you. I will also take this request to the Honorable Home Minister, and I will tell Amit Shah your request. But it will be honored as time to come.
Yes, I was just grateful. I was just grateful.
On that regard.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
I understand.
but you need to understand
Yes,
you
sir.
are being handled and taken care by the topmost office of this country. That is why we all are calling you and we all are being associated with you. But we would want you to go by our instructions, as we are not okay in accepting.
Sukesh, posing as Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla, then tells Shivendra Singh's wife Aditi that the Home Minister himself has asked him to call her.
Honorable Home Minister especially asked me to personally call you up and have a word with you.
See, I am most grateful, sir, and it's my privilege.
As we understand, you are not on the same path that you have been following all this while because of the new developments. But if that is what is the reason, then we might be recusing ourselves from this. As I'm sure that Anup must have informed you, we are okay with working with you as how you have worked with us before.
Chandrasekhar is accused of extorting 215 crore rupees from Aditi Singh over a year. The new recordings reveal how deep the multi-crore scam ran. Inputs from Munish Pandey, Bureau Report, India Today.
You know, it's just quite unbelievable. Listening to that audio conversation, somebody would fall for this to the extent of shelling out 200 plus crore rupees. That call, I'm sure you felt that way as well, just sounds fake. You can almost, you can almost imagine that extra layers have been added to the person's voice. I've met some of those officials, so I know from first hand, even if you didn't, it doesn't sound like a real person speaking. And yet somehow this con artist managed to pull it off. And to the extent of 200 plus crore rupees. Joining me on this broadcast, Conman Singh. He's been former head of the Enforcement Directorate. We've got Vikram Singh. He's been a former, well-respected former Director General of Police. We've got with us on this broadcast Sunil Gupta, law officer, has been in charge of Tihar jail. And I want to go across first to Munish Chandra Pandey, our correspondent, who's accessed these tapes. Sukesh Chandrashekhar is inside Tihar. It's not as if at the time when this scam was pulled off that he was roaming free and had access to advanced technology. From what you've been able to gather by speaking to your sources in the Enforcement Directorate, how did this man pull off what is so clearly a scam? That voice isn't of the Home Secretary. It's clear as day that there is some manipulation on that voice. And yet Aditi, who's not a country bumpkin, she's a worldly wise, well-traveled woman, falls. I know her husband is in jail and in duress and she's trying to help him, but how do you fall for a scam which has got SCAM written all over?
Yeah, well, Rahul, as far as this entire scam is concerned, remember, these calls were spoof calls. So the number which was reflecting on the mobile phone of Aditi Singh, it was the same number. And if you check, and this is in the chart sheet, when Aditi tried to check on Truecaller, the number was from Mr. Ajay Kumar Bhalla's office. It was from Anup Kumar, the Law Secretary of India's office. So even in the conversation, what Sukesh, while impersonating as these high officials, he was claiming that she should check these numbers on internet and mobile application, and that is how she believed that this is the same person who are trying to help her. And it initiated from June 15, 2020, and it, it ended in May 2021. And by this time, 215 crore were extorted from Aditi Singh. And just like Aditi Singh, there are other people also who were extorted by Sukesh. And all this was pulled, Rahul, just because there were few jail officials who helped Sukesh Chandrasekhar in getting a mobile phone with applications, softwares, and there were some people who were working as a courier man who were taking the money from Aditi and then delivering it to different people working for Sukesh Chandrasekhar. And these 200 crore rupees, at that point of time, Aditi was not in a position to give 200 crore rupees. She almost sold every piece of jewelry which she had, right from her paternal and maternal family, also the properties which she had. So it has been a very, you can say in a very classic way, Sukesh Chandrasekhar pulled out this entire scam, but until it was caught by the enforcement directorate, that is
So
when
what
they
happens
started
to this money?
Aditi.
One second. What happens to this money? Has the enforcement directorate been able to trace who Sukesh gave it to? I hope Aditi gets some of it back.
Yeah, well, that is a task for the enforcement directorate because most of the money Sukesh Chandrasekhar has spent on his luxurious life. For example, when he came out of the jail for a brief time, he took a chartered flight, traveled back to Chennai. He called Jacqueline Fernandez, and then there was a chartered flight waiting for Jacqueline to take her from Mumbai to Chennai, and for this he spent more than 8 crore rupees. He has given cars like Maserati, Porsche and Mini Cooper to Jacqueline Fernandez. More than 10 crore rupees of expensive gifts have been given to Jacqueline Fernandez. So he spent more than 50 to 60 crore rupees on luxurious life, on Bollywood actresses, and it is believed that there was some property deal and also there was some money given to a production house through an actor, and which they are yet to recover. But as of now, the most of the amount which were extorted from Aditi Singh, Rahul, those money have been spent on king-size life, which this conman was also leading while he was in jail and while he was out of Tihar jail. Rahul.
That's terribly unfortunate. There's desperation, frustration, anguish on one side, greed on the other, and a lot of this money is now gone, you're saying. Conman Singh, you've got a distinguished career tracking all kinds of investigations, ED, police. Have you ever heard of any case like this? When I do this show, it almost feels like we're part of some Bollywood or Hollywood film script because it doesn't seem real that somebody would fall for this scam to the extent of 200 crore rupees.
See, the people who are able to persuade the other people to believe in them. Now, if you see in this particular case, the phone numbers were spoofed. Not many people know that even the phone number can be spoofed. So the gullible people can be taken to believe in that. The number coming from, if you check the number, it is coming from the finance ministry or the home ministry. The person will believe that the other person is right. The second problem is the many people believe that the money will get their work done. And there's a wrong assumptions in the minds of the people. And that also make them believe that if they pay the money, something will be done.
Vikram Singh, you've been in all kinds of policing posts. You've dealt with many scamsters in Conman. Have you ever come across someone like a Sukesh Chandrashekhar? Just the audacity of this man's efforts and his ability to pull off a con like this?
Rahul ji, good evening. Yes, I have handled many cases, but yes, I must be honest, I have never seen any one of the like of Sukesh. The brazen and the audacious manner in which he propped himself up and swindled Aditi Singh. I feel sorry for Aditi Singh ji, but the fact of the matter is that she fell into a very well laid out trap, duly reinforced with technology, spoofing, and the corruption of the Tihar staff as well, to further his own interest as far as this swindling is concerned. He is a master swindler, duly aided and abetted by the Tihar staff, and I dare say others also. And I would have been very happy, Rahul ji, if you and I were to purchase something around a couple of lakhs or spend as much on the credit card. Lo and behold, you and I will get a notice. And the notice to give where or what are your means of earning? Are you assessed in income tax and other things? And also, if the spending is much more, then the ED, also of which my dear friend Kanwal Singh has headed, will also take notice of that. In this case, I really don't know what the income tax and the ED were. Of course, things came much later. But I would have been very happy if the alertness and the antenna were more sharp and action and preemptive action was taken. This tragedy of Aditi Singh could have been avoided. But Sukesh seems to be a die-hard swindler. And then he went on and predated. And to top it all, the icing of the cake is that after coming out, he went and chartered on a charter flight and then went on a splurge even thereafter. The brazen manner in which he spent money and the ill-gotten money that he had goes to show that he was absolutely careless, brazen, audacious, and went about his way without a caution.
Sunil Gupta,
police, I would say.
Sunil Gupta, for someone to pull off a scam of this nature is brazen enough. To do so while you're lodged inside Tihar jail makes it that much more unbelievable. Because you don't have access to very sophisticated voice-over internet protocol technology. You just have a phone. The phone has a few apps. You have some Tihar officials helping you. You've been in charge of Tihar jail. Just imagine a scam of this nature being pulled off while a con man is actually lodged inside prison, sir.
Yeah, I can never imagine such magnitude crime which Sukesh has committed. Basically, you know, I have gone through this case and I have found that Superintendent Jail, Deputy Superintendent Jail and other their supporting staff, they all were mixed up with this Sukesh so that he may committed his illegal activity from inside the jail. Basically, you see, this Sukesh, he was kept in the high security cell of the jail. When he was admitted in the jail, I think it was in 2017, he was kept in the high security jail. But how he come out from the high security jail and was kept in the ordinary jail, this I can't understand at this moment. And I just want to, I will be candid to you that I also received a phone call in 2017 from one person saying that he is the law secretary of central government and he want some favor. I say, what favor you want? He said that that person should be shifted from the high security cell of Mandoli jail to the Tihar jail. I say, why Tihar? He said, no, in Tihar that is their living is very relaxed, and at Mandoli jail the living is not so relaxed. So please do something so that he is shifted to Tihar. I told him that I can't help you because I retired in 2017, and I was amazed when I saw the report that he was shifted from Mandoli jail to the Tihar jail after few days.
Wow.
So
at the center of this con artist web of deceit is Bollywood star Jacqueline Fernandez. The Sri Lankan beauty queen has been grilled by the Enforcement Directorate 4 times already and would be questioned again. How did Sukesh Chandrashekhar swindle Jacqueline, who's a pretty smart girl by all accounts of people who've met her? Sukesh faked a call from the Home Minister's office, pretended to be related to former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha, and that somehow managed to impress the Bollywood star.
India Today has accessed Jacqueline Fernandez's full statement to the Enforcement Directorate, where she reveals how Sukesh conned her. Jacqueline told the Enforcement Directorate that Sukesh tried to get in touch with her in December 2020 and January 2021, but she did not respond to his calls. She then went on to say that Sukesh got in touch with her makeup artist, impersonating a call from Union Home Minister Amit Shah's office. Sukesh told Jacqueline's makeup artist that the actor must get in touch with him as he is an important person. When Jacqueline did contact Sukesh, he introduced himself as the owner of Sun TV. He also said he's from the political family of former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha. Sukesh declared he was a big fan of hers and that she should do films in the South. He also told her that Sun TV had many projects lined up for her. After that, Jacqueline says she continued to stay in touch with Sukesh. In fact, when the alleged conman was out on parole, the two stayed at a hotel in Chennai. Sukesh had in fact chartered a private jet for Jacqueline Fernandez to fly and meet him at Chennai. Questioned by the Enforcement Directorate at least 4 times, Jacqueline Fernandez admitted that Sukesh gave a loan of $150,000 to Jacqueline Fernandez's sister in the United States of America. She also said Sukesh had transferred 15 lakhs into her brother Warren Fernandez's account in Australia, and that another 15 lakh rupees were delivered to Jacqueline Fernandez herself in person. She also said that Sukesh Chandrashekhar had bought a horse for her. A heady cocktail of crime, cinema and power. The Sukesh Chandrasekhar extortion files continue to unravel. With Munish Pandey, Bureau Report, India Today.
We've shown you how Jacqueline Fernandez was conned by Sukesh Chandrashekhar. Now I show you the super expensive gifts that the conman showered on the star. From designer bags to fancy shoes to luxury cars for her family, Persian cats, even a horse. Jacqueline Fernandez has admitted that she received these gifts from Sukesh and more.
A 200 crore rupees fraud, 2 Bollywood divas and an alleged mastermind. The multi-crore scandal gets murkier with every new revelation. The Enforcement Directorate is unravelling a web of lies and deceit, and their latest charge sheet against conman Sukesh Chandrashekhar proves that all that glitters is actually gold. Sukesh has claimed he gifted Jacqueline luxury items worth crores, and the list is long and sparkling. The conman says he gifted the Sri Lankan actor 15 pairs of earrings, bangles and rings from Cartier and a bracelet from Tiffany & Company. Jacqueline allegedly received 5 Birkin bags from Sukesh. Bags for this luxury brand cost anywhere between 30 lakh rupees to 4 crores. Sukesh also sent gifts from Chanel, Gucci and Rolex watches her way. The charge sheet says Sukesh gave the Fernandez family a fleet of luxury cars. A Mini Cooper to Jacqueline, a car she claims she returned, a BMW X5 for the diva's sister in the US, a Maserati and a Porsche to Jacqueline's parents. That's not all. The conman doled out loans worth 1.13 crore and 37.8 lakh rupees to Jacqueline's siblings living abroad. In a statement to the ED, Jacqueline confessed to visiting showrooms of luxury brands to identify products and sending a list of them to Sukesh, who paid and got them delivered to her either directly or through one of his aides. The actor has been stopped from leaving the country and has been questioned 4 times by the ED. However, she maintains that she's only testifying as a witness. With Arvind Oja and Munish Pandey, Bureau Report, India Today.
When all these fancy gifts were being showered on her, Munish, at no point did Jacqueline think that something was amiss? Did she not verify the antecedents of the person who was gifting her such expensive cars and perfumes and horses?
Yeah, well, Rahul, initially when Jacqueline Fernandez's statement was recorded by the Enforcement Directorate, she claimed that she is victim of Sukesh Chandrasekhar. But later on, when ED started deep investigation into the case, they came to know that Jacqueline was indeed accepting these gifts which were being sent on behalf of Sukesh Chandrasekhar. It is true that initially Sukesh Chandrasekhar, deputed an associate of his, Pinky Irani, who has been arrested. That lady was given crores of rupees just to make sure that Jacqueline Fernandez befriends Sukesh Chandrasekhar. Later on, when it was not working, then Sukesh Chandrasekhar impersonated as a person from Home Minister Amit Shah's office, and then he called Shan, the makeup artist of Jacqueline Fernandez, and said that Jacqueline should speak to Sukesh Chandrasekhar. That time he was pretending to be a media baron from South. But later on, what I have learned from my sources within the Enforcement Directorate is that Jacqueline Fernandez got to know that who this man is. And while he was in jail, Jacqueline Fernandez used to do video calls, audio calls. And when Sukesh Chandrasekhar was out from the jail, she went to Chennai. She spent 2 nights at a hotel in Chennai with Sukesh Chandrasekhar. So ED at this point of time is not giving clean chit to Jacqueline Fernandez. They are not treating Jacqueline Fernandez as a victim in the case, and they are suspecting that she is a beneficiary of the proceeds of crime and this is a task for the ED to recover those money, because most of the money which Sukesh has extorted, that money has been spent on Jacqueline Fernandez in form of gifts, in form of luxury cars, in form of 4 Persian cats worth 9 lakh rupees per cat, and a horse worth more than 52 lakh rupees. So it is a task, but ED at this point of time claims that she has not been given clean sheet, and that is why she is not allowed to leave this country.
Kanwal saying it's a tough, tricky spot that Jacqueline finds herself in. I would imagine that when she was being showered with these gifts initially, she wouldn't have known who Sukesh was. You can give her that much benefit of doubt. But as you get caught in this vortex, you don't know how you should come off the back of the tiger, because you're now stuck in that situation. If you were in the enforcement directorate at this time, how would you be handling this situation? Would Jacqueline be treated prima facie as a witness, as somebody who was, felled by this scam, or would she be, as Munish suggests, somebody who would be an active participant or a beneficiary of this massive scam?
See, the investigation requires to understand whether she was aware that it is proceeds of crime. And certainly enforcement directorate officers are working on this aspect. So if she was aware that this person who is in a jail, how he is getting this money? If this money, she believes that this money was a genuine money, then it is something issue. But the enforcement directorate is trying to find out basically what is the mens rea, whether she was knowing that it is proceeds of crime or not, and why somebody will give so much money to somebody. And the enforcement directorate has to attach all that properties which is now with her, or if she has spent that money, then the equivalent value of money can be attached by the enforcement directorate. So that money is the one part which they have to find out, is spread over, like we know some money has gone to US, some money has gone to Australia, some money has been spent. The money which has been spent, the equivalent value can be attached by the enforcement directorate, and I think they are doing a wonderful job by finding every piece of evidence, interrogating people, and going into the bottom of the case. Thank you.
Vikram Singh, just trying to get into Jacqueline's head. When you're being showered with these gifts, you obviously, I imagine, like the fact that you're getting these gifts, but at some point in time, I'd imagine, when you're having to call somebody who's in prison, you should start asking whether something is amiss. Because if you're getting all these gifts, flights are being chartered for you, if it's too good to be true, as the adage goes, it's quite likely that it is too good to be true and there's something wrong.
Very true, Rahulji. Jacqueline is no Alice in Wonderland. She is reasonably street smart and knows whatever she seems to be doing. I, for one, would not like to believe, because it is highly unconvincing, that she was not aware of the circumstances under which this huge amount of money was being splurged on her. And that too, when she was in touch with Suresh in the Tihar jail, she should have known what kind of money that it is not legitimate. And if she had an idea of that it is not legitimate, this acceptance of ostentatious and lavish gifts is unnatural and inexplicable. Under these circumstances, any person with reasonable common sense, you don't have to be a superhuman intelligence to know that this is ill-gotten wealth and is proceeds of crime. And to be a willing accessory to crime is incriminating. Therefore, what the ED is doing is absolutely justified, and I compliment them that indeed they need to get after the spoils of crime, both with Suresh, Jacqueline and other beneficiaries, so that whatever has been looted from Aditi, at least honest attempts need to be made to recover the looted and stolen property of Aditi, and these people who have been beneficiaries of the crime need to be accountable to the law.
I want to make this point to Conman Singh, to others who've served in our investigating agencies. Very often they get a lot of flack for things which seem like an overreach or when things go wrong. But in this instance, it's the enforcement directorate that proactively stepped in, reached out to Aditi, then got these calls recorded, built a case against Sukesh Chandrashekhar, who seemed to be pulling off this scam. So it isn't all wrong with the investigating agencies. There's good work that they do, and when they do that good work, that too should get highlighted and amplified. But it wasn't just Jacqueline Fernandez. Actor Nora Fatehi too was caught in Sukesh Chandrasekhar's web. Nora was gifted a glittering BMW by Sukesh and his partner Leena Paul. What's more, this car was presented to the actor at a massive public bash.
Bollywood actor, dancer and model Nora Fatehi is now in the Enforcement Directorate crosshair. The ED is investigating the 29-year-old Moroccan over her alleged links to conman Sukesh Chandrashekhar and his partner Leena Maria Paul, who are accused of defrauding 200 crore rupees from a businessman's wife. The probe agency suspects Nora received gifts from Sukesh and his partner Leena. Sources in the ED claim Sukesh allegedly gifted Nora a BMW car. India Today has accessed the exclusive footage of Nora allegedly receiving the car from a Mumbai showroom. What catches attention is the banner right behind Nora. It reads, "We love you LS," which ED sources say stands for Leena and Sukesh. The ED suspects that the car worth over 1 crore rupees was gifted to Nora by Sukesh, using the money allegedly extorted by him from the businessman's wife. India Today has also accessed visuals of Nora attending an event with Leena. Sources in the ED say Nora claims she was invited by Sukesh's wife Leena for an event that took place in Chennai in December 2020. Nora was grilled by the ED for 8 hours on 14th October in connection with the 200 crore extortion case. Sources tell India Today the dancing diva has denied any wrongdoing and calls herself a victim of the case. The ED suspects that there is more to the relationship between Nora and Sukesh than meets the eye. With Munish Pandey in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Munish, what's the role of Leena, the partner stroke wife of Sukesh? She seems to have been actively helping him build these contacts, playing along as an accomplice to this scam.
Well, Rahul, not only in this case, but since the time they met, it was around 2007-8 when Leena and Sukesh met in Bangalore, and later on they started dating and they got married to each other. Now, as far as this entire case is concerned, what ED sources have told us that Leena Maria Paul was aware of where this money is coming from. She was the one who was contacting these celebrities. She was the one who was, deputing certain associates of Sukesh Chandrasekhar to make sure that the money is coming in. And also, she was the one who was laundering the money. For example, the money which was being extorted, there were 2-3 companies of Leena Maria Paul. That money, extorted money, was going into the accounts of those companies, Chennai, Kochi and Bangalore-based companies. And there the money was being laundered on the name of some business, the nail artistry company, the event where Nora Fatehi went on. Leena Maria Paul played an important role, and that is why she was arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. Apart from that, it was not only limited to Nora Fatehi or Jacqueline Fernandez. At least there are 10 actresses at this point of time who are under scanner because they have received gifts from Sukesh Chandrasekhar, because they have met Sukesh Chandrasekhar while he was inside jail. And this is why this case is not going to stop here. Many more celebrities, many more such scams are yet to be exposed by the Enforcement Directorate.
I'm quite certain the producers and creative folk at Amazon, Netflix and all other OTT platforms have their checks out. They're figuring out which creative writer to give this script to. But even if they tried, I imagine that a writer will struggle to come up with the kind of script that Sukesh managed to pull off in real life. As I do this show, I'm not certain whether all of this actually happened. or whether this is part of some kind of a surreal film that we're imagining or something that you're watching on the big screen. But it did, and I feel really bad for Aditi. You know, her husband facing all these charges, already lodged inside prison. You think you're trying to help, but you're taken for a ride. And even Jacqueline and Nora Fatehi, this is a story we will track very, very closely as we unearth the different dimensions of this man who's pulled a scam like none other. Thank you very much for joining in.